The imperative to be kind is woven into the very fabric of our social conditioning. It's presented as an unequivocal good, a moral absolute. But this well-intentioned advice, when applied without wisdom, boundaries, or self-awareness, can turn from a virtue into a vulnerability. This isn't a critique of kindness itself. It's a crucial examination of its shadow side, the profound and often hidden costs of giving until you have nothing left for yourself. We operate in a social and economic landscape that doesn't guarantee reciprocity. For the perpetually generous, this imbalance isn't just a disappointment, it's a systemic drain that can lead to financial instability, emotional depletion, and the complete erosion of one's identity. This exploration delves into 20 specific, consequential ways that unchecked kindness can become a dangerous liability, jeopardizing your well-being, your safety, and your future. The 20 hidden costs of excessive kindness, a deep dive. The crushing weight of unmet expectations. Humans have a deeply ingrained expectation of reciprocity, a concept anthropologists call reciprocal altruism. When you consistently give your time, energy, and resources, you may not consciously admit it, but you anticipate that this social capital will be available for withdrawal when you're in need. The emotional response to this breached contract is a complex cocktail of betrayal, injustice, and anger. This poisons your perception of relationships, fostering cynicism and making genuine connection harder in the future. You train people to expect your help, the comfort zone trap. This is classic operant conditioning. Your generosity acts as a positive reinforcement for the recipient's behavior, which is asking for or accepting help. You're not just being nice, you're actively training those around you to depend on you. Their mental calculus for solving problems shifts from, "How can I handle this?" to, "I'll just ask you." This dependency is comfortable for them and exhausting for you. The abandonment of your own goals. Time, focus, and mental energy are finite resources. Every unit spent on someone else's priorities is a unit stolen from your own. This is a zero-sum game. Your personal projects, career advancement, health regimens, and creative pursuits are perpetually deferred. You cease to be the protagonist of your own life story and become a supporting character in everyone else's narrative. This can lead to a profound identity crisis as you look back and see a landscape of other people's achievements built with your energy and time. Emotional and physical burnout. Burnout is a psychological syndrome resulting from chronic stress. It applies perfectly to the work of perpetual helping and is characterized by three dimensions: overwhelming exhaustion, negative and detached cynicism, and a sense of inefficacy. Your body and mind will eventually force a shutdown, manifesting as illness, a panic attack, or a major depressive episode. Loss of self-identity. Your sense of self becomes contingent on your role as the helper. You're no longer defined by your intrinsic qualities, your humor, intellect, or passions, but by your extrinsic utility. When asked about your own desires, you may draw a complete blank. Your internal compass, which should point toward your own wants and needs, spins wildly because it has been unused for so long. Your personality becomes a mirror, reflecting only what others need you to be. You ignore your own needs. The perpetual helper systematically ignores their own needs, from basic physiological requirements, food, sleep, to higher-level needs like self-actualization. You skip meals, sacrifice sleep, and ignore nagging health issues. This is not martyrdom, it is a profound failure of self-preservation. It sends a message to your own psyche that you are the least important person in your life. Internalized resentment. This is the deep, seething anger that you are not allowed to feel because you consciously chose to help. This creates a state of cognitive dissonance, a clash between your actions, helping, and your true feelings, anger. Repressed resentment doesn't disappear, it leaks out as passive-aggressive comments, sarcasm, or sudden, disproportionate explosions over a minor inconvenience. Decision fatigue. Willpower and executive function are like muscles, they fatigue with overuse. Constantly making decisions for others completely depletes this resource. When it comes time to make crucial decisions for your own life, you have no mental energy left. This leads to decision paralysis, where you avoid choosing altogether, or you make impulsive, poor choices just to end the mental agony. You are perceived as weak, and treated accordingly. The inability to say no isn't seen as kindness but as a lack of backbone. It signals that you don't value your own time, energy, or opinions highly enough to defend them. This perception, whether conscious or subconscious, invites disrespect. People are less likely to consider your feelings because they assume you either don't have any or won't enforce them. You attract takers, not givers. Your behavior sends a clear signal into the social ecosystem. Conversely, individuals who are needy, narcissistic, or simply exploitative are highly attuned to finding people with weak boundaries. You become a magnet for these energy vampires, who will consume your resources with a sense of entitlement, offering little to nothing in return but drama and demands. You become a butler. This is the complete reduction of a human being to a function. You are no longer valued for your companionship or unique perspective, you are valued for your utility. The phone calls and messages begin with a demand, not a greeting. This is a deeply isolating experience. It creates the paradox of being constantly surrounded by people who need you while feeling utterly alone because no one sees or values the real you. You enable irresponsibility in others. By constantly cushioning the fall, you disrupt the natural feedback loop of cause and effect. If a person never experiences the negative consequences of their poor planning or bad decisions, they have no incentive to change their behavior. You are not helping them, you are fostering helplessness. You rob them of the opportunity to develop resilience, competence, and self-efficacy. You breed suspicion, not gratitude. In a world where most interactions have a discernible motive, radical, selfless kindness can be unsettling. It doesn't fit the standard model. When people encounter something that doesn't compute, they often become suspicious rather than appreciative. They may question your motives. Is this person trying to make me feel indebted? Do they have a hidden agenda? Your virtue is not celebrated, it is scrutinized and pathologized. Erosion of authentic relationships. Relationships built on a one-sided transfer of energy lack the foundation of mutual respect and genuine affection. They are, in essence, a silent contract. You provide help, they provide their presence. The moment you can no longer provide the service, due to burnout or finally setting a boundary, the relationship often dissolves. You become a target for manipulators. Individuals with narcissistic or exploitative tendencies are expert profilers. They quickly identify people with low self-esteem and poor boundaries. The classic people-pleaser profile. They see your kindness not as a virtue but as an exploitable resource. They will use sophisticated tactics like love bombing, gaslighting, and guilt-tripping to systematically break down your defenses and extract money, time, and energy from you. Financial drain. Kindness has a direct and often severe monetary impact. Constantly lending money that is never repaid, always picking up the check, and funding other people's emergencies can devastate your personal finances. This generosity is almost always directed outward while your own financial security is neglected. Jeopardized personal safety. The deep-seated desire to be helpful and not be seen as rude can literally override your primal instinct for self-preservation. You might ignore gut feelings that tell you a situation or person is unsafe because you don't want to cause a scene or offend someone. Malicious individuals count on this social conditioning. Agreeing to things that make you uncomfortable because you can't say no can lead you into physically dangerous situations. Missed opportunities. The hours and days spent solving other people's problems represent a massive opportunity cost. This is time you could have spent networking, acquiring a new skill, building a business, or simply recharging to be more effective in your own pursuits. While you are diligently working on someone else's dream, your own dreams remain on hold indefinitely. Life passes by. You create a precedent of availability. By always being available, you teach everyone in your life that your time is not your own. They begin to feel entitled to your immediate attention, contacting you at all hours for non-emergencies and becoming frustrated or guilt-inducing if you are not instantly accessible. This precedent destroys any sense of healthy separation between your life and their demands. Addiction to validation. When your internal sense of value is weak, you become dependent on external sources to feel worthy. The praise, gratitude, and approval you receive for helping become a drug, the currency of your self-esteem. You are not helping for the act itself, you are helping for the fix of being needed and appreciated. This creates a vicious cycle where you need to help more and more to get the same feeling of validation. The 4 Stoic strategies for wise compassion. The Stoic ideal isn't the eradication of kindness, but its evolution. It's the journey from impulsive, self-sacrificing generosity to wise compassion. Here are 4 strategies to guide that journey. Practice relentless self-awareness, the internal barometer. You cannot manage what you do not measure. Self-awareness is the foundational practice of turning your attention inward to observe your own reactions without immediate judgment. After interactions, consciously check in with yourself. Ask, what emotions am I feeling right now, and where do I feel it in my body? This data is for creating a map of your emotional boundaries. Your feelings are the best indicator of where your limits actually lie. Reclaim the word no, the shield of sovereignty. No is the primary tool of sovereignty. It defines the border between your kingdom and the outside world. It's not a rejection of the person, it's an affirmation of your own priorities, energy, and time. Practice using clear, unapologetic language. You don't owe a long, convincing excuse. A simple reason is sufficient and often more powerful. Remember, every no is a simultaneous yes to something more important to you. The unbreakable appointment, from foolish generosity to wise compassion. We are often told that to be a good person is to be selfless. To give until it hurts, to put others first, to say yes to every request, and to be a constant source of support for everyone around us. This is the virtue of generosity, and it is a beautiful ideal. But what if this ideal is built on a flawed premise? What if our unwavering, foolish generosity ultimately leads to our own depletion, leaving us with nothing left to give? The journey from this well-intentioned but unsustainable way of living to a life of wise compassion is a fundamental shift in perspective. It requires us to build a fortress of self-respect, grounded in 2 critical acts of self-care, sanctifying our time and discerning our energy. This is not selfishness, it is the radical, necessary foundation for a life of true and lasting impact. Sanctify your time and space, the unbreakable appointment. The modern world operates on a simple, unspoken rule: if you don't schedule your priorities, someone else will. Your time is not merely a commodity, it is a finite, non-renewable resource that represents your life, quite literally. The minutes you spend are the moments of your existence, and how you allocate them directly determines the quality and direction of your life. Yet, many of us allow our days to be dictated by the urgent needs and fleeting whims of others. We become a reactive vessel, a perpetual inbox for other people's requests, leaving no room for the things that truly nourish our soul and advance our personal mission. The path to reclaiming your life begins with a radical act: time blocking your calendar for your own work, deep focus, exercise, family time, and rest. These are not optional activities, they are non-negotiable pillars of your well-being. The concept is simple but profound. Treat your personal commitments with the same immovable respect you would a meeting with your most important client. But here's the twist: this client is you. Consider for a moment how you would prepare for a high-stakes meeting. You would clear your schedule, prepare your materials, and ensure you are mentally and physically ready. You would never consider double booking it or canceling at the last minute for a lesser engagement. The unbreakable appointment is a call to apply this same level of gravity and respect to your own life. This requires a fundamental shift from a mindset of passive availability to one of intentional creation. Instead of waiting to see what the day brings, you become the architect of your day. Begin by carving out dedicated blocks for deep work. This is the time you reserve for the cognitively demanding tasks that move the needle on your most important goals. In a world of constant pings and notifications, a 2-hour block of uninterrupted, focused work is a rare and powerful luxury. It is where true progress is made, where creativity flourishes, and where complex problems are solved. Guard this time fiercely, for it is the engine of your ambition. Next, schedule your physical and mental well-being. This includes a block for exercise, whether it's a run, a gym session, or a quiet yoga practice. Your body is the vehicle for your life's work, and neglecting it is a form of self-sabotage. Similarly, dedicate time to rest and recovery. This isn't just about sleep, it's about intentional downtime, reading a book, meditating, walking in nature, or simply doing nothing. This is the crucial time when your mind processes information and recharges, preventing burnout and fostering creative insights. It is a time for stillness in a world of constant motion. Most importantly, create non-negotiable blocks for relationships and connection. Schedule time with your family, your partner, and your closest friends. The people you love are not a "when I get around to it" item. They are the purpose of your journey. By putting them on the calendar, you are sending a clear message, both to them and to yourself, that they are a priority. Once these blocks are established, they become your fortress. When a request from a colleague, a friend, or even a family member threatens to intrude on this protected time, your pre-decided answer is always the same: "I'm sorry, I'm booked at that time. I have a prior commitment." This is a script of profound power and grace. It is not an excuse or a lie, it is the simple, unassailable truth. You are booked. You have a prior commitment to your own work, your health, your family, or your rest. You do not need to justify or over-explain. The simple, firm truth is a complete sentence. This practice is a rejection of a society that glorifies busyness and demands instant responsiveness. It is a radical act of self-respect that sends a clear signal to the world that your time is valuable. It teaches others how to treat you and forces them to respect your boundaries. By sanctifying your time, you are not closing yourself off from the world, you are creating the necessary space to be present and effective when you are engaged with it. You are filling your own well so that when you do give, you are giving from a place of genuine abundance, not from the meager drops of an empty vessel. Identify and distance from energy vampires, strategic discernment. While a strong schedule protects your time, the next step in building a fortress of self-respect is to protect your energy. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy of wisdom and virtue, teaches us the vital art of discernment, the ability to judge well who and what is worthy of our attention, our focus, and our precious life force. Your energy is not an endless supply. It is a finite, valuable resource that must be invested wisely, not squandered on people, conversations, or situations that leave you feeling drained, depleted, or less than. This requires a relationship audit, a courageous and honest assessment of the key people in your life. This is not about judgment, it is about objective observation. List the people you interact with regularly, friends, family, colleagues, acquaintances, and ask yourself a simple question for each: how do I feel after spending time with this person? Categorize them into one of two groups, radiators or drains. Radiators are the people who, after you've spent time with them, leave you feeling energized, uplifted, and inspired. They are the ones who listen with intention, celebrate your successes, offer genuine support, and engage in conversations that spark new ideas and possibilities. They are a source of light and a wellspring of positive momentum in your life. They are the ones who fill your cup. Drains, on the other hand, are the people who consistently leave you feeling emotionally or mentally exhausted. They might be chronic complainers who see problems in every solution. They may be gossipers who thrive on drama and negativity. They could be individuals who constantly demand your emotional labor without ever reciprocating. They are the ones who, often without malicious intent, act as energy vampires, leaving you depleted and unfulfilled after every interaction. They poke holes in your cup, allowing your precious life force to leak out. The purpose of this audit is not to create a blacklist of people to cut from your life, though sometimes that is the wisest course of action. More often, it is a tool for strategic distancing. This is a gradual, quiet, and drama-free process of becoming less available to the drains in your life. It is not about confrontation, it is about silent redirection. You can still be kind and civil, but you simply become less available for long conversations, less likely to engage in their cycles of negativity, and less responsive to their constant demands for emotional support. You are not rejecting them as a person. You are simply refusing to offer your energy to a dynamic that is harmful to you. This act of self-preservation is often met with internal guilt. We are conditioned to believe that saying no to someone's needs, or even just becoming less available, is a selfish and unkind act. But the truth is, you cannot pour from an empty vessel. You cannot be a source of strength and support for the people you love if you are constantly being drained by others. Protecting your energy is a prerequisite for effective and sustainable compassion. By mindfully reducing your exposure to drains, you are creating the capacity to be more present, more compassionate, and more available for the radiators and for the people who truly need and appreciate your support. This is the essence of wise, intentional giving. It means you are giving from a place of personal fortitude, not from a place of obligation or emotional depletion. Conclusion: from foolish generosity to wise compassion. The journey to building a life of genuine impact is not one of ceaseless, self-sacrificial giving. It is a deliberate and conscious journey from foolish generosity to wise compassion. This is the fundamental shift that redefines our relationship with ourselves and with others. It begins with the profound understanding that self-care is not a form of selfishness, but the absolute foundation of sustainable giving. Just as a pilot must secure their own oxygen mask before assisting others, you must first ensure your own well-being before you can truly be of service to the world. This new paradigm is built on the understanding that boundaries are not barriers to connection, but the very structures that make healthy, respectful relationships possible. A person with no boundaries is an open door, inviting anyone to take whatever they please until they are left with nothing. A person with firm, kind boundaries is a home with a strong foundation and a sturdy door. They can invite people in, share their abundance, and build genuine connection without being vulnerable to exploitation. Boundaries create the space for respect to flourish. They teach others how to love and interact with you in a way that honors your needs and your humanity. The ultimate goal of this journey is to give from a place of abundance, not emptiness. This is the most critical and liberating realization. The foolishly generous person offers the last drops from their empty vessel, a gesture born of obligation and a fear of being perceived as selfish. It is a sacrifice that leaves them with a sense of martyrdom and a resentment that can poison even the most well-meaning act. In contrast, the person of wise compassion gives from a cup so full that it overflows onto others. Their giving is effortless, joyful, and free of resentment, because it is not born of a deficit. It is the natural expression of a life well managed, a well-being fiercely protected, and a soul that is nourished and whole. Your time and your energy are the two most sacred assets you possess. They are your life force, and the way you manage them determines the trajectory of your entire existence. By creating and guarding the unbreakable appointment, you honor the most important client you will ever have, yourself. By practicing strategic discernment, you ensure that your precious energy is invested in relationships and activities that lift you up, rather than dragging you down.